Number 1. Trump and the Yakuza Warrior. In the 1990s, Akio Kashiwagi, a mysterious Tokyo-based real estate investor and owner of the Kashiwagi Shoji Company, was known for his love of gambling, particularly baccarat. He was rumored to have ties to Japan's Yakuza criminal organization and claimed to have a yearly income of $100 million and assets totaling $1 billion. Trump, a businessman in his 40s, convinced Kashiwagi to visit one of his casinos in Atlantic City. Although Kashiwagi won $6 million, he and Trump later made a deal for him to return and gamble $12 million, with the potential to either double the sum or lose it all. However, Kashiwagi ended up losing $10 million and claimed the casino did not hold up its end of the deal. He returned to Japan with a growing casino debt that is rumored to have reached $15 million before his death in 1992. Kashiwagi was found murdered in his home near Mount Fuji, having been stabbed 150 times with a samurai sword. His murder remains unsolved, but his large debts and alleged Yakuza connections have led to speculation about the motive. Kashiwagi's story also inspired the depiction of a character in the film Casino. Number 2. The story of Don Johnson. How he won $15 million in 6 months. Don Johnson is a well-known blackjack player in the casino industry and the protagonist of a successful gambling story. He has had a long career in the gambling industry, starting as a manager at the Philadelphia Park Racetrack and later becoming a state regulator in several states. In the early 2000s, Johnson founded Heritage Development, which offers computer-assisted wagering programs for horse races. During the 2008 financial crisis, Atlantic City casinos were seeking to attract high rollers to improve business, and Johnson was able to negotiate terms that brought the house edge and blackjack games down to 0%. Most experienced gamblers are aware of the unfairness of casino games, so these celebrity gamblers would often negotiate game terms, as Johnson did. As part of the deal, Johnson required the dealers to stand on soft 17, play with 6 decks, and allowed him the right to raise split aces. He also requested a 20% refund for losses over $500,000. This agreement led to a 6-month blackjack marathon at the Tropicana Casino, during which Johnson won a total of $15 million. Johnson remembers a series of 3 consecutive hands that earned him $1.2 million. He placed a $100,000 bet on 2 8s, which he decided to split, and was then dealt 2 more 8s, which he re-split. His total bet was raised to $400,000, and after being dealt a 2 card, a 3, another 2, and another 3, he doubled down, bringing his total bet to $800,000. When the dealer bust, Johnson won $800,000 in profits. After his 6-month winning streak, he received $6 million from the Trop, $5 million from Borgata, and $4 million from Caesars. He was banned from playing at Caesars and not allowed to play under the same terms at the Trop and Borgata. Despite this, Johnson is still considered one of the few successful professional gamblers, but it is important to consider the context of his success. Number 3. Brian's Breasts. Brian Zembic, also known as The Wiz, is a magician and high roller who is skilled in both blackjack and backgammon. He gained a reputation in the 90s for being someone who would do whatever it took to win a bet. One instance in which this was particularly evident was in the summer of 1996, when he and a friend, Jobo, got into an argument about the value of female breast implants in attracting men. As a result of the disagreement, Zembic and Jobo made a bet in which Zembic would get breast implants, and if he kept them for a year, Jobo would give him $100,000. Initially, Zembic did not follow through on the bet, but by the fall of 1996, after losing a significant amount of money in the stock market, he began to see the bet in a more favorable light. Interestingly, Zembic was able to find a cosmetic surgeon who also enjoyed gambling on backgammon. After losing a number of games to Zembic, The surgeon agreed to perform the $4,500 breast enlargement surgery in exchange for Zembic forgiving his gambling debts. The bet was on. By the time the one-year mark arrived, Zembic had gained some fame due to the bet and the resulting breast implants. His story was even featured in a book called The Man with the $100,000 Breasts and Other Stories by Michael Connick. To everyone's surprise, Zembic ended up keeping the implants and became accustomed to them. In 2000, he had a daughter, Mika, who was asked about her father's implants. She reportedly told people that Uncle Mike paid her father money to put them in. While this was meant as a joke, Zembic did make it clear that he would remove the implants if they posed any harm to his daughter. Number 4. William Lee Bergstrom. William Lee Bergstrom walked into the Horse Show Casino on September 24, 1980, with 2 suitcases in hand. One was empty, while the other contained $777,000. The owner of the casino, Benny Binion, had a policy of accepting any amount as an individual's first bet. Therefore, Bergstrom, later known as the Suitcase Man, made the largest wager in casino history at that time, placing all of the money on a single dice roll and betting on the Don't Pass line. Miraculously, he doubled his money, which may have been a good thing since some sources claimed that he had planned to commit suicide if he lost. After winning $777,000 in his first visit to the casino, Bergstrom, also known as the Phantom Gambler, disappeared for 3.5 years, traveling the world. He returned on March 24, 1984 and began placing large bets again, winning a $538,000 dice roll and an additional $117,000 from other craps bets. He even took his mother to a Willie Nelson show. But on his third visit to the casino on November 16th, Bergstrom brought $1 million in cash, gold Krugerians, and cashier checks, hoping to replicate his earlier success with the Don't Pass line bet. Unfortunately, the shooter threw a winning 7, resulting in a $1 million loss for Bergstrom. Devastated by this defeat, he committed suicide by swallowing pills on February 4, 1985. It is unclear why Bergstrom, who was not believed to be financially ruined by his friends and family despite his significant loss, decided to take his own life. His suicide note indicated that the suicide may have been prompted by a breakup with a man who was 10 years younger than him.